Again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And today I'm going to be talking about a topic that one of my subscribers, he hit me up, trying to ask for some advice. And a lot of you may be going through the same deal, may have been dealing with this issue for several years, and especially now during this pandemic, it really hits home and you're kind of like, I don't know what I should do. Should I do this? Should I do that? And it basically boils down to following your purpose at the end of the day. And I know this is a lot different than what you guys are used to seeing, even though, like I've said before, this channel is about self-help, relationships, so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's get right into his email. So he says, "What's up, JR? I got this problem going on and I just want your intake on it. So I'm working this night job or whatever. Pay is great. When I first started, it was cool. I could work whenever, 7 days a week. Cool. Now I'm 3 months in. I'm like, man, I'm tired of this ish. Now that I started a business on the side from the money I saved up, I sort of got this attitude like F this job and just up and quit, even though I want to do that, but I know can't just yet. Can you give me any? Can you give me? Sorry that I'm reading this and it's the grammar's not the best, so I'm trying to make sense of it so it makes sense to you guys. Though I want to do that, but I know can't just yet. Can you give me some tips on what I should do? Because man, I'm telling you, sometimes when I be at work, I catch myself spacing out. That's how I know I don't need to be there." So with that being said, this is something that I think we all have dealt with. And I know myself, I've dealt with it as well. And there's going to come a time in your life, if you've been working a 9 to 5, whether you're doing manual labor, whether you're doing a job that really doesn't inspire you and it's not emotionally compelling, it's going to eat you. It's going to eat away at you. You have to find purpose in what it is that you're doing. You have to love what you're doing to the point, and it's so cliche, when you have a job, work it to the point where it feels like it's no longer work, if you will. So it just has to get to that point. It has to be something that you're passionate about. Otherwise, you're going to forsake the job. You're going to zone out like he was doing. You're going to take it for granted. You're not going to want to be there, and your work is going to suffer at the end of the day. And what you really have to do at the end of the day is you ask yourself, is this job really emotionally compelling? On a scale of 1 to 10, is it at least a 9? If it's not at least a 9, you need to be plotting on getting up out of there. You know what I mean? Based off what he's saying, it's not. It's definitely not a 9 for him. So at the end of the day, what's really keeping him there? Remaining on a job that you really don't want to be at, as I said, it takes a toll on you, and you're going to begin to resent it, and you're going to resent the whole position, even though the job may be an actual good job. It may be fitting initially, but it's not, your heart's not into it. And this is where a lot of people do suffer. And you say some people have issues with the work that they're doing, or they're not able to. Same thing with school, with students. You're not able to basically put 100% into it, so everything else suffers. You know what I mean? It's going to affect your overall performance. It's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your mood. And I know, and maybe a lot of you guys know, guys, even your parents who've stayed at jobs for years, even decades, and it's not where they really want to be at, and it's torturing them, but it's just convenient, and they have this fear that they're afraid to move on. It's just like a relationship that you find yourself in. The relationship, I don't want to say it's convenient, but you just get so used to it. And why be why be with someone that doesn't fulfill you? You know what I mean? And it doesn't make you happy. And this is what we need to ask ourselves. And a lot of people are afraid. They ask themselves that, but they're afraid to make that move. And that's what holds us back and keeps us from pursuing our dreams at the end of the day, and where we want to be. And with him, the gentleman in particular, he started a side business, which is cool, which every one of you out there who are watching this, you should at least have something to fall back on, especially during these times. Have some type of side business or some additional income or multiple streams of income, which should be the goal anyway for you guys who are watching, to have multiple streams of income. Have something that just in case one of them falls off or one of them slows down, you have another way of getting money. You know what I mean? And once you're able to generate enough income, you can quit that 9 to 5. You can be your own boss, which is what you should be striving for, because at the end of the day, the job that you're on right now, it's not secure. As much as you like to think, you can get fired anytime. You know, I know some of you are like, well, I'm in the union or whatever, da 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 da. At the end of the day, I mean, that's cool too. Not everybody's in the union. But still, at the end of the day, it's nothing like having your own job where the only person that you could fire, only person that could fire you is yourself in terms of these jobs. So you just have to go for it and know that at the end of the day, if you're starting your own business, you're betting on yourself. You're not going to let yourself down, which is the biggest thing you need to think about. And that's what a lot of people are afraid of when they're starting businesses, is the fear of the unknown. But as long as you have that faith in yourself that you're not going to let yourself down, you're going to make sure it happens. And that's the only way that it's really going to fail, unless you're just jumping out on a wing or winging a prayer and just winging it, which a lot of us do when we start businesses, but we learn as we go. You know, there's a certain freedom, and which I enjoy myself. There's a certain freedom with being self-employed. You're in control of your success. The work you put in, you reap the benefits of, not like when you're working for someone where they reap the benefits of what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? You control how much you make, not some other company, not some other entity, this company that you're working for that's controlling how much you make. It's your birthright to have a business. I understand that not everybody's equipped for that. Some people just don't have the intelligence or the mindset to be a boss, and they have to be employees. But for those of you who are watching this, I hope that you have that something inside of you that's telling you, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to do my own thing. You know, the working man, they spend most of their day usually doing, what doesn't make them happy. It's not emotionally compelling, doesn't make them happy. Some folks just don't have the drive. They don't have the design. They just resign to their fate, and they accept the mediocre lifestyle until they die. And they feel that that's all they deserve. Don't be that person at the end of the day. Like I was telling him, take control of your life and be free. Just don't be a clock puncher and just checking in, being like Fred Flintstone, clocking in every day, then leaving, so on and so forth. And, like was that Fred Flintstone where he would clock in, he would see the guy, and then when he leaves, you see the same guy, and that only time they spoke to each other was during that time. I can't remember if that was that or if that was like Pink Panther or something. I can't remember. But you see the guy coming in, see the guy going out, and it's the same thing, Groundhog Day, like clockwork. Just make sure that you have a plan mapped out. If you guys are planning on taking that leap, have a plan mapped out. Have some bread saved up just in case things don't go the way it should be, and you have something to fall back on. But sometimes destiny, life pushes us in a certain position where we have no choice but to step out on faith. No choice but to step out on it. Me personally, I was working a job I couldn't stand. I didn't like. I know that I had a brain, and the job that I was doing was a thoughtless job. The money was okay based off the area that I'm at. It was pretty decent, but I knew that I was so much smarter than settling for that and resigning to that. And like a lot of these other guys, staying on this job 20, 30 years. And basically the same person, entry level, is the same pay that they're making. So no matter if you've been working there 20 years or 2 days, you're making the same pay. So with that being said, I encourage you guys, pursue your dreams, follow your dreams. Don't just resign to your fate and say that this is it for me and there's nothing else. There's always tomorrow. There's always, you have potential. You have a gift that you need to discover. No matter how long it takes, you need to be working on it even when you're not at work. When you're at work, a lot of us daydream. and we think about what we could be doing, you have a brain for a reason. You aren't meant to just work in a place where you're unhappy, you dread going to daily. So with that being said, you know, I don't know what else to say to you guys except search your soul for what it is that you feel like you should have. Use your imagination. You have a brain for a reason. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. If you guys like the video, I invite you guys to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Share this video if you feel like it would be of benefit to anyone or one of your friends or whoever. And if you have any questions, you know, feel free to hit me up. If you got any topics you'd like me to discuss, same thing. All the links are in the description below, or you can check it in the comments. It'll be pinned in there as well. Check out all my affiliate links and things like that. If you have any advice you're seeking, please feel free to email me as well. I invite you guys to check out these videos here. Click on those related to this topic. That way, you know, you get a little bit more information on what it is that I'm talking about. And with that being said, you know, peace be upon you, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.